there, viewers. Welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. Got the 2017, it's the Buick, it's the Enclave. It's got the big 3.6. That didn't really work out. It's got the big 3.6, and it needs some work. A little bit of rando stuff. It's got a broken shock in the back, and looks like the back brakes are junk, and the money light's on, and the TPMS light's on. It's overdue for an oil change, and yada yada yada. All a bunch of pretty simple stuff. So I'm gonna bring you folks along. We're gonna go do some stuff. We'll get it fixed up and get this lady back on the road here. I'll start by dumping the oil out of it. Come on, little guy. There we go. We'll get the oil filter off of here. Got it. So I throw a bucket under there. We'll leave that draining. We'll fix the engine light. It is a P0496 classic move there. It's your purge valve. Whoa, dude! We'll go breaking stuff. So these purge valves are notoriously notorious. They're notoriously infamous. They go bad a lot. Hear that? You shouldn't be able to blow through that. Let me hit that, man. All right. We got one here from the GM. That's your classic part number there. Don't even bother pissing around with aftermarket. Why? Because these ones are junk. The aftermarket are junkier. So, watch. Can't blow through that one. You gotta spit on that thing to get that O-ring in. Or you could use a little lube, it's up to you. Alright, so that's that, easy peasy. The code, like I say, is a 496, which I think is defined as purge flow during a non-purge event. All of that, which I'm telling you, could be wrong. So I have to look it up yourself. So there's that. So that fixes the money light. We're going to leave the oil cap off just to give ourselves a little bit of a heads up. Ain't got no oil in it. We'll send that off to the recyclers. And let's go peel the wheels off the back. Free tip Friday for you folks. You see that radiator hose? You see how skinny it is? Right here. Hey, what are you doing there, skinny? That's because their sides are sucked together. Okay? What's that mean? What does it mean when you see that? I'll let you think about that for a minute. Minute's up, folks. It means that your radiator cap is faulty, and or this hose is plugged. But it's not, because we just unhooked it and the hose is still flat. So what's happening here is, you know, I had the engine running naturally and now it's starting to cool down, and during that process usually your radiator cools down, and as the fluid contracts it would typically pull fluid from your expansion tank here back into the radiator through the negative side of the cap, you know, through this hose. But in this case it is not, so this thing needs a new radiator cap. And what you'll see here sometimes, if somebody, let's say, fills up the radiator, you know, because if we take this cap off, you're going to find that it's probably a little bit low, because as it expanded, the positive side of the cap allowed the fluid to go into the expansion tank, and it's just not drawing it back. Now, it's not usually that big a deal, so it's not going to hurt anything. It's going to get air in the system, but that's about it. But what you'll find if somebody checks your radiator, they'll fill this up with coolant, and then it pushes it out, but it never sucks it back. And they check it, oh, my radiator's low. They fill it up again, and eventually the expansion tank will become so full that it pukes over, and then they think major problems. Let's see if we can just loosen up the cap. Loosen up the cap. We'll watch that hose. Here, and then the hose popped up. Hopefully you guys saw that without my added sound effects here. Oh boy. You see that crap on there? You know what that crap is? That's from mother effers who do stuff like this, who add all these stupid ground wires that go to erroneous places that it doesn't even need. Well, this is how they fix cooling system problems. They fill it full of stuff. Idiots. And that could be because of what I was just explaining to you. You know, the cap going crappy. The very inside of that cap, that little metal piece in there, that is the negative side of the cap. No real way to test it. You can put your lips on there and, you know, see if you can suck a golf ball through a garden hose, but yeah, when you see this stuff on there, that's because somebody put frickin' silver seal in it. What we need to do now is we need to make a new sensor. The one in the right rear is smoke, so I'm going to use the Altel ITS 600. We're going to use an Altel sensor naturally. We'll keep it there. It's going to look for it. It's just going to auto create an ID once it's satisfied that it only detects one sensor. And then we'll go pop that in. The other 3 sensors on the car work. Seem to respond well. There's that. So that's all good. We'll exit out of here, and then when we take that tire off, we'll pop that little guy in. Well, we may as well start here. So we're going to be using the Astro Pneumatic. It is your 22.5 millimeter. Okay, that's for your nuts that get all swelled up. Their half-size sockets are phenomenal. We need like a 22.8. See what happens is the rust gets under the chrome caps, it swells up, splits them, and then your 22 doesn't really fit it very well anymore. It does fit it, but you'll be right out on the end, and you twirl these off. Technically, yeah, does it need all new wheel nuts? It certainly does. In our climate, you can replace these every single time it comes in. So, think about it. Tough sell. Nobody changes their own tires if they get a flat anymore anyways. You call AAA and that guy can be pissed off. Whoa, dude. But at least when it comes here, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. What's wrong with your fingers here, fella? You know, we don't go and, you know, tear the chrome off them or anything, but you know, every wheel nut on this car is gonna be like this. So. And everybody hates mechanics so much. You know, you call them, be like, hey, you know, you need new lug nuts, lady. Yeah, right, she says. Yeah, right. What are these things? $6, $7 a whack, probably? What do you need? 30 of them? Nah, not quite 30. 24 anyways. Wow, got a lot of dirt in these wheels. See about getting these peeled off. Hopefully the calipers and stuff are good. This one seems to be pushing back. Just lovely. Pins are coming back, which is great. She's a full floater. Why does it always go in the wrong direction? Need to bring the garden hose over and give her a little hose down. Dirt road driver in New York, baby. Set our caliper up there. Wow, the pads aren't seized up. That's amazing. But you can see she's getting a little bit thin. When I was looking, took this thing for a drive, horrible clunking noise in the back. I was back here seeing what it was, and I noticed that the brakes are getting thin. So I got her with the upsell. I know this is not what you brought it here for. You know the story. The mechanic makes the phone call. You guys all been on the receiving end of that. Must be my lucky day, huh? Who's in luck? Oh, I just gotta pull that bracket off. I just popped the other side apart already to make sure that the caliper was good over there. I already gave the lady the estimate prior to tearing it apart. That usually bites you in the hoo-ha, but I didn't want to tear it apart because I was supposed to have a 2 o'clock. And then called that guy because I was thinking he probably wasn't going to show up anyways. A little Loctite on there. Alright, well, let's sandblast these off. They shouldn't be too bad though, the way those pads came out. I think this vehicle has had a SMA brake job previously. That's why everything came apart so nice. I'll have to look and see. That way we can gauge how many miles they got out of their brakes. Our environment is very tough on brakes. Oh, you mother lover, that's right, that's got the brake. Come on, baby. All right, let's find the adjuster. You on the top, you on the bottom, you on the side. Oh, she's right here on the top. Whatever way you're turning it is the wrong way. See? You're right 50% of the time, every time. Just like doing tie rods, you know, if you're an alignment guy, you loosen it all up. What way should I turn this? You sit there, you think about it, you're pretty sure you got it right. It's at that moment you stop and you just turn it the opposite direction. Oh, we're so close. If your adjuster turns, don't sit here and just beat the piss out of this thing. Get off. Just back the adjuster off. Wiggle it gently. Come on! Try again. And there it is. Yeehaw! We'll peel this shock off. It's kind of funny, the girl says it's got a little bouncy in the back end. Didn't say anything about the noise. Every time you hit a pump, this thing was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nothing about that. I double checked the appointment just to see. Nothing about the noise. I'll give her that. It was bouncy in the back end and very, very noisy. We'll take that nut and bolt up. Grab us a 21 mm. Go for the bottom. Woo! Whoa, don't drop it on the floor. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Don't be stuck, baby. You're probably gonna be stuck, aren't you? You're probably gonna be stuck. Gonna spin the whole thing. Nope. Go, baby. It's your birthday. Give that a little bit of relief. Hey, it's gonna be okay, guy. Oh, that's a relief. That is not normal. That's not how that's supposed to come out. Okay? That's when you know your shock is bad. And then we get the new one here. Right from Napper. Jared Monroe, not a sponsor. I definitely prefer OEM over aftermarket when it comes to the shock absorption portion. But not an option. Not an option today, fella. Come on, dude. Got to push that up so I can. Drive that in there like a 16-penny nail. On the bottom, these are tapered, okay? It's got a cone, convexed, going into a concaved hole. The other side is flat. Like so. Line that up. We'll very lightly snug up the top. Grab us an 18. That shit just touched. Just touched it. And we're going to come back through, torque these to spec. If you don't loosen up one bracket or the other, you end up trying to beat them out, beat them in, yada, yada, yada. We're gonna pick this up a little bit. This isn't gonna matter in this situation as far as getting your bushing wound up, because where this is, you know, even with the suspension at full ride height, what's it turn that bearing like yay much, or the bushing rather. So don't get too pumped. We'll very lightly take this one in. Okay, that one just started to touch. We're making a YouTube video, so we'll go get some torquing apparatus to give that a little clicky clack. Come on. Oh, we're gonna have to hold it with a wrench. Oh, this is awkward. This is awkward. Gotta be close. There we are, 54 pound-feet of torque. We'll switch out some sockets. we'll go to the bottom. 74 and some change, 74 pound-feet of torque. Get that up on that joint. There's that. Now we need to go an additional 90 degrees. We've got to click the right button here. Button. Who's got my button? Trying to do it upside down. Now we have to let the torque zero. 90 degrees. Here we go. What's 90? Quarter of a turn. We're almost there, baby. Oh, not quite. There it is, 90, which ended up at a full 186.9 pound-feet of torque at 91 degrees. Now everybody will sleep better at night knowing that at least this side is torqued. The other side, you're just gonna have to trust me. Wind that side down a little bit. Looks like it has a newer wheel bearing on this side. While it's apart, we're going to juice up the park and brake components, star adjuster, and the actuator down here. Brand new rotor. And of course, some brake clean. We're gonna douche up a rag, and then we're gonna wipe out the surface here for the park and brake shoes. Not that the park and brake ever gets used. And then I'm gonna lightly wipe off the inside of the rotor as well. Line up our slot. Retaining screw, 106 inch-pounds. If you feel so inclined to torque that, we will. We'll come back and get that before we're done. We're gonna leave it like that for right now. Now technically there is supposed to be a little rubber plug in there. That has left the chat some time ago, I'm assuming. Look at that, line that right up. Coming in clutch. We're gonna wind up our star adjuster. Not quite tiger tight. But take her down so you can just feel her tickle. Oh, right there. Everything's locked up. Come off 3 or 10 clicks, whatever you feel makes you feel good. Whatever makes you feel good, man. Spritz down the rag again. Do that. Grab your bracket. Oh, this is the brake pads off of this side. That's what they look like. Okay. That's all that was left to them. How many 30 seconds is that? Not much. That's how much it is. Take your bracket. You want to sandblast it or get all the rust out where the pad ears go. And then we're going to have a little look at our pins here. Ooh, that one's nice and greasy still. I'm happy with that. That one's nice and slick as well. They move freely. We'll take the silly Ramic. We'll give her a little dab on 3 out of the 4 corners. Then we spread it around. You guys know the routine. We all know the routine. We'll get her good and greased up here. Keep that from getting rusty. That's the big thing in the Northeast. Rust, and salt, and dirt, and junk. I see in the comments section people were saying stuff about the I can't believe she brought it in this dirty. She'd stuff her face in a garbage can. You know, stuff like that. Dude, the highest it's been has been single digits for about a month. Forget about it. You're not going to the car wash. If you do, you know, you're gonna put in, you know, $10 worth of quarters and it's not gonna do anything. Everything's frozen. That's what you don't understand. You gotta calm down, man. We're gonna put our brake pads in. We're gonna have the squeaker on the trailing edge of the brakes. Assuming you're driving in a forward motion, it will be. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And then we'll look for our bolts that are conveniently left in the bracket that we're looking for. Wow. And then a little bit of Loctite. We use some orange, which holds like red, releases like blue. Just put a little something on there, keep the bolts from rattling loose. Plus Loctite is nice in the sense that it works similar to Never Seez. Oh wow, did that just blow your mind? Think about that. And what I mean by that is if you have Loctite thread lock or thread sealant, we'll call it thread sealer. It literally seals the threads off from the rust and the salt water and all the migrating up the threads, okay? If you notice, most of the bolts that you pull out that have Loctite on them aren't rusty, they're sealed off good. So it's kind of how it works. I'm not a Loctiteologist, but that's my observation. Loctiteologist, that's not even a real job. Probably is. There's a guy that works for Permatex. You ask him what his job is. I'm a Loctiteologist. There's that. We will very gently snug those up. Actually, you can go full beans with this thing if you want to. And of course you're making a Bajeo, so break out this little guy and we're gonna go up to 129 pound-feet of torque, or close to it. Or if you don't have one, just tighten it up so it doesn't fall off. We only do little short strokes on this guy. Still get the job done though, let me tell you. There it is, 129. Or 136.8 over torqued. Wow. Take our caliper. Take your squeezy backy tool. Squeezy it back. Grab. Frick. Some silly Ramic. Just wipe it on the one ear. Wipe it on the one ear. Oh, my head. Smear it around, then smear it over here. That's why you wipe it on the one ear. Okay, are you guys with me? Who's with me? Nobody at this point. A little there. Phenolic piston. Not really necessary, but we do it anyways. I don't know why. We do it anyways. You grab the bolts. We start the top one. Get that one started, then we bring it around town. Just like so, and then you tighten those up to 20 pound-feet of torque. Ish. There's that one. There's that one. I just want to double check this one. Okay, they're both at 20 pound-feet of torque because we're going to come back and double check those for real. You going to trust me on that one? And that's it, bro. Let's throw the tire back on here. Push, push, push. This is a speed removal tool. So you just take the old TPMS sensor, take it off, put it over in the recycling bin. Wheels are actually in pretty decent condition still. We'll pop our stem. We'll also put that over for recycling. Keep our removers in our pocket. Wipe off the schmoo. Obviously, if you break the bead and this thing's all corroded, just frickin' fix it now instead of having to then come back. All right. We'll open up our Altel. One sensor is part number. The number one, the word sensor. It's your Altel MX. Dual frequency with over 95% coverage. Not a sponsor. They work pretty well. You push the button. You go from rubber stem to metal stem just like that. You're like, oh, I need a stem. Boom, bam, bam. And don't go just slipping it in. You got to lube it up, okay? And don't use grease, like petroleum-based grease. Don't do it. Put down the grease gun. This is a product we use called Fry Lube. Fry Lube made by Perma. Or maybe it's Fry Lube called Perma No Rim Rust. It's a product that is absolutely mandatory in our climate for all tire mounting applications. If your shop's not using it, I guarantee you, you're coming back with bead leaks before the life of the tire. Not at our shop. Not today. There's that. Yeehaw. Then we'll go through, set all the tire pressures. It's been inside here all day. Well, not all day, but long enough to get warm. Add a couple extra pounds for good luck. So let's say, for example, it's supposed to be at, 35 pounds. You're gonna pull it outside. It's gonna be cold for, the next month or two. So we'll set them, 37, 38, something like that. Should be done draining by now. Spin our drain plug back in. That's going to be 18 pound-feet of torque on it. Okay, we're just going to very lightly snug it for right now. We'll come back and torque that when we're all done. We're going to get our brake clean from before. Hopefully that worked out right. I can't see the viewfinder. Clean up some of the mess from the filter. These 3.6s, I tell you what. I don't know who invented this oil filter location on these things, but they're a disaster. Now this lady doesn't have a garage to park her car in, so it's not as big a deal, but you get these things in, garage kept. They're opaque because it leaks all over the engine mount bracket. You gotta clean it all off, otherwise Joe customer is going to go home and they're going to get a little drip on the floor, and guess who they're calling? You. There's that, easy peasy. Here's our cat. That's the one that doesn't work. We got our new one from Napper. Not a sponsor. That's the part number. Now we should be able to lead by example. Lead by example. I think that's what my wife tells me. Negative side of the cap's in the middle. So isn't the pressure side. This one's gold. But listen, I give it a little sucky. Put your lips on there and suck, and you should hear the negative side of the cap open. You ready? Wipe all the stuff off it. I suckied as hard as I could and nothing. She's bitter. This one works, that one doesn't. We knew that though because the hose was sucked together. Some idiot put frickin' stop leak in there. When is it a good time to use stop leak? Frickin' junk aftermarket. When is it a good idea to use stop leak? Never, unless you're taking the car to the dealer to trade it in, or you're sending it to the auction. Then it's the perfect time. But if you plan on driving your car, don't put stop leak in it. This stuff plugs heater cores, plugs radiators, ruins caps. Whatever. And like I say, you'll see people do it for, you know, stuff like this. Oh, overflow jug's filling up. Must have a blown head gasket. Here, glug, glug, glug. 4 cans of K-Seal. And, you know, they couldn't diagnose a bad radiator cap. Started her up, let her run for a few seconds, shut her off. Yes, I put an oil filter on it. You don't want to make that mistake, let me tell you. You'll be quickly reminded. Alright, so we're good to go there. I think we're pretty well done under the hood. I've already checked the air filter. Brake fluid's full. We filled up the worst tank. This is still in a good position because that was at the full mark, right? Yeah, it's actually a little above the full mark. So once it does its exchange, we'll be in good shape for the shape we're in. Typically, these cars have a big piece of plastic here, so Joe Schmuck customer usually isn't touching that, but not that this lady would touch it. She wouldn't even know how to pop the hood, I can't imagine, but not that she's dumb. I'm not trying to portray that. It's just she doesn't work on her own car, you know? Let's tell you everything. Give it one of these before you close it. The battery is a stone dead, or plumb dead, as they would say down south. She's been having a hard time getting it going in the morning. I know the feeling, lady. So we gotta put a battery in. I tested it out, and the battery's junk. And as a matter of fact, I just got the one start out of it, and that was it. I just tried to start it again. So we do have a new battery. Son of a biscuit. Somebody's replaced it before. This is our external drain, and I am not seeing it. Free jawbreaker. I'm not seeing it down there anywheres. So we'll have to get the battery out the way. See if we can't find that vent, otherwise we're gonna have to get it. Set that over there, don't mind the french fries. 13. No tools required. I brought the Ugga Dugga gun, but apparently we don't need it because it's not very tight. And the reason the cover was off is because I was in here checking the battery. You can test them remotely, but your results are usually crappy. By crappy, I mean not as accurate. Doing a remote test, plus you don't even know what size battery's in it, if it's the correct battery. A lot of reasons I can tell you to just do your battery testing directly at the battery as opposed to a remote location. Plus, you don't get all the free jelly beans under the hood. And this one's from 2020, and there is no vent on it. Friggers! Frickin' friggers. Is it laying down here? Nope, we got a jelly bean. We got a stick, rando stick. Ooh, a heart gem. Some kind of crystal, man. Crystal meth. Let's see, what's this? Oh, it's a ruby. No, it's not a ruby, it'd be an emerald. And appears to be some Pringles. Whatnot. Okay, well, we're gonna have to get, it has to be vented to the outside. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know, can you even order that thing? You always take it out of the old battery. Well, that sucks. Well, we gotta keep on keeping on because I need to get this thing out of my bay. But I'll have to see if I can get one of those for tomorrow. Mr. O. So this has the plug in it. So if it's not vented to the outside, you take your little red plug here and you plug it up. You plug up the end of the battery. But this one needs to be vented to the out of doors. So what do you do, mister? Well, like I said, I've got to be able to get it out of my bay for today. So we'll do what we got to do. Do what you got to do, fella. Ugga duggy. Oh, she's in tight now. Oh, don't hook that one over there. This one goes over here. Oh, we got a little green crusty starting on the back of that. What is this? This is a power feed to something. Red and white's a power feed on a Chevy. Ruh-roh. That's got some corrosion on it. We're going to have to look at a diagram and see what that feeds. That could feed something important. I can smell it, man. I can smell the freaking battery. That's not good. That's not good when you can smell the aroma down here. A little bit of hydrogen. I don't know if hydrogen has an odor, but makes it go boom. There's that. You torque that to factory specs. Whoa, look out, it's a lizard! It's a Jeep thing. Oh no, that's not a duck. Take that off. You ready? Close your eyes in case it explodes. It didn't. Oh, close your eyes again. Cheated death twice. Cheating death. Cheating death. I don't think anybody's gonna cheat death. Because man does not know the time in which for whom the bell tolls. Fraser Crane. Okay, there's that. She is toy. And you get the old carpet. And I'm not going to stick that back on there. Why? Well, I guess I can for right now. Just so I don't lose the dang bolt. We'll stick that in there lightly because we're going to wait to get that little vent tube 90-degree adapter doohickey. Otherwise, you put the carpet back down, you click this thing back on. It's got a few clicky tabs. See, somebody had this thing all jacked up. So we'll have to fix that. Whoever put the battery in it last. We'll have to fix that metal tab, and then there's this that clicks there. It's supposed to have a metal tab there that is still stuck in the metal framework. So these metal tabs here, so I'll pop that out of the framework. But like I said, I'm not going to put it all back together because I'm going to have me some fruit snacks. Oh, cherry. So we got to do the TPMS, reset the oil change light. So we'll go around and gather the info here, and then we'll write it. So like I said, those ones all work out good. This is our new one that we just did. Make sure you torque the wheels. Go back through everything that you were supposed to torque. The rotor screw, caliper bolts, drain plug. You know, obviously go through and do all that. And then we're going to hit relearn, and then we're just going to do OBD relearn. Let it sit here and do its thing. You could also use this same tool and use, because it's a, you know, built-in scan tool as well. Plus it has the service functions if you just want to go through and reset the oil light with this very same tool as well. Liar, liar, pants on fire. This one does not have scan tool. So it does have service functions where you can reset oil, lights, parking brakes, battery monitor service, steering angle sensors. Maybe it's the battery tester one I'm thinking of. Probably. We'll do the updates when we got it on. So that's it. I think we're done. Let's skedaddle, shall we? Unplug our dongle. Don't forget your dongle. So the only light left is their service park assist. It's got a the left outer sensor is faulty on it. Just not want that fixed. So 128, wanted the engine light fixed and TPMS. So that's all that was fixed. So let's go for a little ride. Oh, we did not take the correct route. We're gonna have to go backwards now. Usually we take a little tube through town. So stinking cold and windy. And then we got all this light fluffy snow and it's just been days of just blowing and blowing and blowing. 30, 40 mile an hour winds. Of course stuff just drifts everywhere. We don't have a lot of snow, maybe, you know, it might be like 6-8 inches of snow or so, but and then the one day it was all freezing rain. It started out snowing and then, you know, temperature increased up to about 34 degrees and it just downpoured and then it cooled off again. That was a mess. Lots of broken trees and power lines and such. That's it, folks. This lady should be happy. Starts, runs, drives. Brakes are good, her lights are out. Engine light's fixed. TPMS light's fixed. The broken shock is fixed. We've done all that we could do. Let's see who this is. Oh, somebody left a review. Oh, they left a question. And that's it. We're gonna keep on keeping on. Got to get that little vent thing for the battery, so I can't even we can't even move on from here. So I've got a tremendous amount of work to get caught up on. It's just like parts, man. Everything's like next day, next day, next day. So, you know, cars stay, and it's the car business, I guess. Anyways, don't mind your business in that comment section. Questions, comments, Insta, Facebook. You guys know where we're at. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.